This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
Where do you guys think you are?
The Library of Congress?
Detroit? Beyond the sun?
Any of those right?
Take him to Detroit. No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that! No!
I used to hang out at the Magumba Bar. It was a rough place, the seediest dive on the wharf, populated with every reject and cutthroat from Bombay to Calcutta. It's worse than Detroit.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Then don't come! Shut up!
I dig you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT and the D.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly. Come on. Tries. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
Hi, this is Ralph Macchio, and you're listening to IT in the D Show. Wax on, you know what.
Why would, Buick put their cars next to, the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT in the D Show. No mercy.
I may have to wipe the geek off.
Hi, this is Martin Cove, John Kreese from the Karate Kid movie, and you're listening to IT in the D.
Yes, Sensei!
Hi, I'm Ernie Hudson, and you're listening to IT in the D. All you nerds out there.
Nerds?
Nerds.
Nerds! What is a nerd?
I'm a nerd, and I'm pretty proud of it.
This is Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump. IT and the D Show is your hookup. Holler if you hear me.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey. I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes.
This is Robert Hayes, Ted Stryker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo Bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho!
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do. The question is what aren't we going to do.
Ludicrous speed! Sir, had you better buckle up? Buckle this! Ludicrous speed! Go!
It's Monday, October 12th. Dave is back from his 25th high school reunion, thus the Breakfast Club movie.
I'm old. Get off my lawn.
This is episode 113, and you are listening to the IT and the D Show. We are broadcasting to you live right here in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy, always here with Dave, the geek. Nuri, the LOST, is in the house tonight. Find us online, itinthed.com. Give us a like on the Twitters. Give us a follow on the Facebooks, because we are IT in the D, and you just still aren't.
Keep trying, Slugger. You'll get there one day.
Yay.
Aww.
It's so cute.
Feel good.
Don't forget, mark your calendars, October 15th. We will be at the Hamlin Corner on the south end of, is it the north end of Main Street in
the opposite of South.
Royal Oak, right on the west and the east. I don't know. It's Hamlin Corner, downtown Royal Oak.
Use your nav systems. Don't trust Bob to get you there.
5 o'clock until question mark.
Well, and we had a good time there when we were hanging there with Theo for the Forward Down the Field show.
It's a great place.
It seems like a decent place. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
Terrible, though.
Horrible.
Hate it.
Horrible.
I hope we never have to go back. Sarcasm / /s. But you got back from your little Grosse Pointe Blank, your little getaway.
I did. I'm dating myself horribly, but yes, I
thought you were married.
You date yourself.
Several times a day, actually. In the slow season.
Yeah, so it was extremely last minute. I mean, there was I wasn't planning on going. I mean, there was too much stuff going on out here, and I had a whole bunch of chaos brewing. And I'm sitting here Friday night with the Better on Draft podcast guys, and I'm catching smack over, my phone's blowing up because people are giving me crap about not going, and I didn't tell them, but I finally caved and I fired up Kayak and said, okay, find me last-minute tickets out to, Manchester, New Hampshire, and there were none. I said, okay, well, let's see what we got going for Logan. So I found I'm stunned. For leaving 12 hours after I bought the ticket, the price was ridiculously low.
I'm amazed more airlines don't do that.
It floored me. So, got my plane ticket last minute, went out, flew out Saturday morning at about 10 o'clock, got there, got to the hotel, had some lunch, took a nap, took a power nap, and then, went to my 25th reunion and got a little tore up from the floor up. It was a great time. I mean,
did you just make that up?
But no, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, so for anybody out there, if you're ever agonizing about going to reunions or anything like that, you absolutely need to go. And I mean, here's the thing. Not to get all. I promised these guys I wouldn't derail it too hard with getting all nostalgic and weepy and all that kind of nonsense.
Appreciate that.
But you know what? Those are the people that knew me probably at one of the worst times of my life. Like, I mean, it was right after my mom died. It was my junior year. That's when I started a tailspin into some really stupid shit. And it was awesome. I mean, I went back for my 10-year too, but I mean, not everybody was there. But I mean, there were a lot more people there for the 25, and it was just great. I'm not going to lie, it was great from my standpoint coming back. Yeah, as the little success I guess that we are, or that I am. But it was just awesome reconnecting with people, and like I posted on my Facebook wall earlier. When our 10-year came, I built a website with a tagline that said, it was the place to remember, the place we couldn't wait to forget, and I was wrong. You can't forget who you were, and I'm pretty sure this is Joel already calling in.
Do you have the theme for Dawson's Creek to put behind him?
Joel, give me just a sec, bud. I was wrong. I mean, you can't really appreciate who you are unless you remember who you were, and I mean, and that was. It was a good thing for me. So Joel, I'm assuming this is you on the line.
Yes, it is. Who else would it be?
How you doing, man?
I am doing well. I am rested. I'm relieved and verklempt.
Yeah. So Joel's the one that actually. So Joel's an old buddy of mine from high school. He's called into the show before. He's the one that kind of got roped into organizing and pushing the reunion.
I was drafted.
You were, and you were coerced by forces beyond your control. Let's leave it at that.
And it was beer.
Beer. And so I didn't tell Joel I was coming. I didn't tell him that I'd bought a ticket. I started taunting him and teasing him, and apparently the dumb thing that I did, which I kind of even debated doing, is I changed my cover photo on Facebook to John Cusack from Grosse Pointe Blank, and he was like, "Yeah, you're here. Screw you. I know you're here."
It was instantaneous. It was like, yeah, he's totally screwing with me. Thanks a lot.
So Joel, I guess I gave my quick little recap. I mean, we had a blast. I mean, it was it is redundant, but we grew up in middle of nowhere, New Hampshire.
Yep.
And I would say it wasn't a really big percentage of the class that had to travel very far to get there, just because a lot of folks
you'd almost be surprised.
Really?
There was actually quite a few. I mean, we had some people from Alaska, a couple of Californians, and that type of thing. But you're right. I mean, the majority of the people are still at least within the New England area.
Yeah.
But that's. I mean, where else are we going to go? I mean, nobody gets our humor. Nobody gets. I mean, you barely fit in where you're at. So,
No, true. So, I mean, you know what? I mean, it was a great time. I mean, the reunion came together extremely well. One of our old classmates is in a band. Brought a band out. They played some outstanding renditions of 80s tunes. We got ridiculously in the bag hammered. And then we wandered to several other bars and continued that process. And I made apparently a lifelong friend in my Uber driver. So, So I mean, this will set the tone for you. So I mean, you know how Uber tends to work. You've got like 87 drivers in your area. So the driver that took me from the hotel to the reunion, because I didn't rent a car, I just Ubered everywhere. He was like, "Hey, like we're pulling up to the place where the reunion's happening," and he's like, it's really slow. He's like, so I'm just going to go ahead and hang here in the parking lot. Here's my card. If you decide that this isn't really someplace you want to be, because sometimes reunions get weird, he's like, I'm going to hang out here for probably like an hour. So like if you want to pop back out, just pop back out. And here's another one of my cards just in case you lose the first one. Just text me or whatever, and I'll come get you, and like we'll go find a bar or something. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, man.
So to further paint the picture, Milford has a taxi company, and they have 2 cabs. and so somebody asked on the website. They said, "Hey, does anybody know if Uber is available? And what's the cab situation like? Because I'm worried about like driving." So I get on the interwebs and I call up the cab company in Milford, which I don't think I've ever done in my entire life living here.
It was someone's house, wasn't it, Joel?
It was totally somebody's house, and this guy, guy gets on, and I said, "Hey, I'm just wondering, how, we've got a whole event going on, and what's the average cost between Milford and Nashua?" And he goes, "Well, it depends on where it is. It's about $30." And I'm like, $30? What the heck? And then I said, "Well,
the Uber was
how
15.
many people you got available?" And the next thing you know, he says, "Well, pretty much our
me and my
cabs are tied
son.
up." It's
me and my son in our cars.
Right.
Yeah.
And we got a big thing going from Manchester to Milford, so that's going to be a while.
Nice. So, yeah, I mean, we did. We wandered all over the place. We hit a couple bars. We went to a little diner to close out the night that's been there pretty much forever, where, Bob, you would have loved it. They had something called, was it a bowl of bacon or a mug of bacon, Joel?
It was a bucket. It was actually labeled a bucket of bacon.
They brought a bucket over to your table. And how you have like pencils and pens in coffee mugs? It was a bucket that was filled with bacon.
I like bacon.
I'm not taking a cholesterol test for like the next 3 months at a minimum. Yeah, but no. So I mean, I am really glad that Joel guilt tripped me into going. I am glad. I'm thrilled for all the conversations that I had and all of the half laughing, half weepy, half stupid nostalgia that I suffered myself and put everybody else through. So, yeah. I mean, again, if you're debating about whether or not to hit your reunion, you need to go.
And the crazy thing too, I was at the airport in Boston. I looked down on my Facebook, and it said "See posts from Dave."
Right,
I'm like,
and I had just taken off.
Wait a second! I started walking around the gate. I'm like, is that bastard here? I'm going to find him and pop out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, Dave, it's Nerd the F&G. Oh my god!" And yeah, you already been home. So
yeah,
sad.
So all right, well, Joel, we got to get rolling here, man. Anything else you want to get out?
No, do your thing. It was great to see you, and hopefully it won't be an additional 5 years before we see each other. And I don't know. I got to try and make it down there for some time.
Absolutely, man. All right, take care, dude.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, so yeah, there's a whole lot of like, I met, ran into the first girlfriend, ran into the the first old friend, ran into the people that I hated that hated me back and all of that. Although I have to, Steve Meyer, if you're out there, gave possibly the best compliment that I've ever received in my life to me. We were sitting there yakking and just talking about our stupid exploits and crazy crap that we did when we were back in high school. And he started laying out the story, and I'm like, dude, I don't think that was me. And he's like, man, and he starts to laugh, and he's like, you got to understand, man. He's like, at this point in time in my life, when I think back on the stuff that you pulled, like I get confused between what was actually you and what was Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That is hands down the greatest compliment I could ever receive in my life. So, Steve, thank you.
Well, I can't wait to the weekend after my reunion next year when I get to come on the show.
On a very special IT in the D. Bob
Hey, you know what? You played this card once, I get to play this card once. It's my show. I'll say what the hell I want.
You better sound like that. But hey, a couple weeks ago we met a new friend. We don't meet too many friends in the in the podcasting business, right? But we actually found someone out in L.A. who came from Detroit and kind of
Thinks like us.
Right, but like they actually made their podcast nice, where we just sit around a table and talk.
Yeah, exactly. They're very refined and polished.
And it's like they're produced and they have awesome guests. Like I think Seth Godin was on.
Yeah.
But they actually teach you things. No, it's basically it's things like it's called The Art of Charm, right?
Yep.
And they have segments like how to create confidence. It's kind of like the 9 effective habits of highly effective people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that 9 habits of highly effective people. How to create a relationship, time management, right? But they do it in a way that's kind of cool. Like I didn't like usually when stuff's overproduced, I'm like, oh, icky. But these guys,
Next.
they knock it out of the park. It's one of the better podcasts I've listened to. So if you wanted something a little bit different from us, that's actually produced and polished and has awesome content, do us all a favor.
Why would anyone want anything different from us?
Sometimes you gotta have White Castle. Sometimes you need a nice steak after you eat White Castle.
True.
It's kind of we're the White Castle. He's the nice fillet. But listen, do us all a favor and go to theartofcharmpodcast.com. Find them on iTunes or Stitcher. And we freaking love the show, and we hope you do too.
Yeah, they're good guys.
Yeah, Jordan's awesome. Yeah, looking forward to listen to their next stuff.
And he is a taskmaster, man. He will not let up when things are needing to get done.
Oh, he has people. People. I want people. Don't have anyone. It's just me and Dave. Big news of this morning kind of set my world on fire.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't even know how this works. Dell acquired EMC, so a company twice its size. Right?
It's the biggest acquisition in internet history, right?
It is. It absolutely is. And it's something, being in this business, right, coming from HP and Dell and now it's Cisco, no one thought that was going to happen, right? Everyone thought Cisco was going to acquire just because of the relationship with VCE and VBlocks. And now, just seeing this, I look at Michael Dell's 47 years old. I am such an underachiever.
But just a few years, Bob.
Yeah, exactly. But this shakes up the entire. I mean, you have an entire channel, you have an entire customer base, you have so much stuff relying on both companies.
Well, and here's the weird part. He just fought extremely hard to bring that company back private again, and they're taking on how much debt with this deal?
$50 billion in debt
with a B.
And what's weird too is Dell was I think on the verge of not being relevant. I mean, how many people have Dell servers anymore, right? It's all HP servers, IBM servers.
Cisco's number one right now.
UCS, right? Yeah. Totally. And then Dell. And now they're completely the most important player probably in the game right now for when it comes to
I mean,
data center.
I was reading all the analyst stuff and all that, and Meg Whitman came out and said they're going to have to pay $2.5 billion a year just in interest on the $50 billion they took out. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at, and Brian, maybe you can wait. We got Brian
Dell
here.
Just took in a student loan.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'll still be paying it off in 40 years.
Right. We got Brian here from OST, and you guys are notoriously a big HP integrator, a little bit, Cisco as well. But, I mean, what are you guys saying on your side of the fence with this whole acquisition? Because to me, it's kind of mind-blowing.
I think it's mind-blowing, too. And I honestly don't know. I haven't been in the office today. It just came out yesterday, so it's kind of still brand new news. I think it is a huge move, and I think it definitely is going to, make waves. I just don't know, what our experts on that side of the business actually think about it at this stage.
Well, no one took Dell seriously in the enterprise, right? They were great in mid-market and small commercial storage server.
Those Power Edge servers.
Yeah,
totally.
and Force 10, that acquisition was a few years ago. I still have friends that work there.
From Navarone? No?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Force 10 isn't a player. I mean, they are in the service provider world, but it's I guess you got to take Dell seriously now in the enterprise space.
Yeah, definitely.
But from a channel perspective, it's going to be interesting because neither one of those two were very friendly with their direct sales model, right? So you have a whole entire community relying on them for their livelihoods, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be interesting to watch the trickle effect. But here's my favorite story of the week. And if you go to whitehouse.gov and you sign a petition, and if it hits 30,000,
they have to respond.
They have to respond. So apparently there was a petition for the U.S. government to build a Death Star.
Oh, yeah,
And so they had to go answer. So they got some NASA scientists, and they got basically all the people involved, and they said, in order for us to build a spec Death Star, it's going to cost $850 quadrillion.
With a Q.
With a Q. I don't even know. Where is that? Is that after trillion? I don't even know where that is. And then at the current rate of global steel production, it would take 833,000 years to complete.
And how many jobs would it make? Huh? How many jobs?
They took our job. Job creator. Let's do it. But they said, and also they found some laser scientists that said, how much power would we need to basically destroy a planet or a moon? That's no moon. You need 1 quadrillion kilogram of matter laser. I don't even know what that means.
Kilojoule.
It sounds a lot.
Yeah.
No, it's kg?
Yeah.
Oh, it's kilogram.
No.
Whatever.
You forgot your weird science already? Or not weird science, real genius already.
Genius, yeah. I don't feel like making popcorn with a laser anytime soon, thank you. But I just think it's funny that they actually have to answer these stupid things. We need a petition on the science behind the black cheeseburger at Burger King.
I was supposed to get those for you guys tonight.
You were!
Oh,
failed. So I
Speaking
have
of science experiments.
Speaking of science and fail, one of my favorite stories from the week is the major anti-vaxxer group that funded a multi-year study to find the link between vaccines and autism. They spent a ton of the money they've been collecting from everybody. It went for years and years and years. There is no link between vaccines. I think
In breaking news, Tom, vaccines do not cause autism.
Yeah, we need that Pac-Man.
So you hear that? All you bastards in Tarrant County, Texas, vaccinate your damn children. But the funny thing, they still tried to basically say that, oh, well, the study was flawed. This doesn't mean anything. They said, we have concerns about the changes in study design, protocol, and analysis. So basically,
of course they do, because the result wasn't they were hoping for, so therefore changed the science.
The study they funded.
Yes.
They're not happy with the results for, so it's obviously bunk.
And my surprise of the week, remember that story we had about when we had Dave Lingholm on from the city of Detroit, and they had that app out? It says if you see something bad, report it on the app. Apparently the report came out, and they over 10,000 things have been fixed due to this app. How freaking cool is that? If you think about it, I would have guessed it would have been a Blutarski 0.0. No, let's be honest with you. But like, it's actually helping. Like, if you got like a pile of tires outside your house, you hit the app, and
When I have like a guy selling drugs in my corner, can I put up a sign and then use the app to report it?
Not on that corner.
That was the bad. Dude, I love it. That sign that was actually I posted. No selling drugs on this corner by order of the Detroit Police Department.
Right.
Who funded that? The drug sales guy on the other corner.
No, but like I'll say it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. Like the day that installing streetlights doesn't become news, it'll be a great day for the city. The little meaningless, the stupid stuff that I guess you got to start somewhere, right?
Yeah. So I'm curious. So I'm going to segue a little bit. So I'm curious because you're the one that has a kid probably closer to the situation than mine are. Imagine in Birmingham banned unaccompanied teenagers from the theater. If you're not there with a parent, you don't get to go to the movies anymore, teenagers.
Is this Russia? This isn't Russia.
So I mean, you think about it. I mean, I'm assuming teenagers on dates still go to movies.
It's like the last bastion of American freedom for teenagers, the movie theater,
right? And
a toilet.
And Imagine said no more.
Here's the thing that you know what you just did? You went straight up racism. Like you said, like, well, no, you from because one person was loud, you took an entire group of people out of the mix because you had one group of teenagers that was loud. So now you said no for all of them, right? It's punish the people that deserve it. Don't ruin everybody's like the toilet. That's such garbage.
I'm going to disagree because for $11, I don't want some snot-nosed shit talking through my movie.
We talked about it.
They don't. I go to the Rochester Hills. You imagine? I've never had one issue at all.
Dude,
ever.
for the longest time until we took the kids to see Minions. The last movie I saw in a theater was that Will Smith I Am Legend movie. And part of the reason why that was the last movie I saw in a theater was the row of 12 and 13-year-olds behind us that I wanted to kill during the course of the entire movie. It's not that I don't like movie theaters. I don't like people. Particularly in movie theaters.
The worst part is the assigned seating, right? Remember when I saw Mad Max? Yeah. And like I did it after Comic-Con. I went by myself because my family was gone. I didn't feel like calling anybody. I'm just going to go see the movie and get it out of my system. And I go walk in the theater and it's dead empty except for one guy in the back right center. Guess where my seat was?
Right next to him.
So I spent the next half an hour seat hopping because everyone else, that's my seat. I don't want to sit next to, that's my seat. And I finally just sat next to him and go, dude, I got the seat next to you. We're going to sit next to each other. And I'm Bob. Right? Like, I hate that more.
I brought popcorn.
I did. You want to share? You like Jujubee?
Exactly. You had Sour Patch Kids? I got popcorn.
The one that I love more than anything, and I spent half the day listening to it yesterday when I was doing some work. Somebody found the suitcase full of all the cassette tapes from all the Kmart.
No. Did not find. No. It was a store manager from a Kmart.
Yeah,
who pocketed the cassettes. Yeah, he didn't find them.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, he pocketed them every month.
I knew what I meant.
When they sent them out, and he just released, what was it, 1989 to 1993?
Digitized all of it, yeah.
Digitized all these cassettes of the Muzak that played in Kmart back in the day. And threw it out online.
The only thing I remember from Kmart is the one that
attention shoppers, Blue Light Special.
That's the only song I remember from Kmart. I don't even remember who sang it. It's always like everyone thinks it's in a movie, but that's all I remember from Kmart as a child. And I'm listening to the thing and I'm listening to it and I don't hear the damn song. But I want to go listen. That should be like the soundtrack of our lives. That's like the greatest thing ever.
That should be the music breaks from now on, is what you're saying?
Yeah, please.
The Kmart music?
Yes. Pull it. Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. I am begging you.
So, and then the one of local interest, because, we are, we mentioned we've got a 6,000 odd person LinkedIn group. LinkedIn Opportunity is driving around the country with a bus and some photographers and offering free headshots to anybody who's in the area. They've been to Arizona. Apparently they're going to like middle of nowhere, Iowa. But is LinkedIn Opportunity coming to Detroit? No. No, they are not.
So a city that probably needs the help, needs people with headshots. They say that people with a picture on LinkedIn are like 10 times more likely to get a hit from somebody. In a city like Detroit that needs that, and they're just skipping it.
No, and they're going from like Chicago.
They need help.
To
New York City, they need help.
Whatever's like immediately east of us.
Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah. For crying out loud. There was like 3 of them like, wait, what?
Yeah. Also like San Francisco and LA. I mean, if you're basically going out to help people, provide opportunity, and you're going to the cities that have the
Don't
most
they have LinkedIn headshot retail stores there
in Frisco? Yeah, you would think.
Right.
Yeah, right next to the Tesla store, totally.
Exactly.
So then, but my favorite people, and these are the people they have to stop. I don't understand why people don't understand how the world works. So Sears, their website.
Are they still in business?
They are. Speaking of Kmart, actually, that's the segue from Kmart. Sears had a website glitch where apparently these play sets, like I have in my backyard for the kids, that were normally selling for anywhere from $700 to like $1,300. Some wacky mayhem ensued, and they were on sale on the website for like $11. And of course, people, as soon as somebody stumbled across it, they're posting it in the, Facebook and the groups and on Craigslist and everything. So everybody runs to go buy these things. And of course, Sears sends out mass emails that basically says, no, your order's been canceled. It is what it is. And then
I'm suing.
Exactly. And then people are all up in an uproar because, well, they advertised it, and that's the price that they put out there, and they should be forced to honor it. Nah, it's a mistake, Einstein, and it happens, and there's precedent after precedent after precedent that says as long as they're not practicing bait and switch, where they're luring you in with a lower price to get you to buy something more expensive, no, if it's an accident, it's an accident. It is what it is. And it literally lasted all of like 3 hours on their website.
But I mean, in good faith, would you really think you could log in and buy a stroller that's usually like $3,000?
And that's the part that I just assumed that, the passed out girl that wasn't saying no wanted to have sex. Because she didn't say no. I just assumed that the website that was offering
Dave goes there. I was thinking more something mislabeled at Meyer. Like, Jesus Christ.
Jesus. When she woke up, it was totally a bait and switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, can we, well, hold on real quick before we get out of here. We always got to end with something dumb. So China came out.
China wants the cock.
Yeah, China I guess loves they want to impose a global code of conduct, the COC, on the internet. And apparently a gentleman named Mr. Wang wants a cock for the internet.
It's code of conduct.
Code of conduct, right.
COC.
Yes. Right, but apparently he loves it and Wang wants
a global
cock
for the internet.
For the internet.
So would Wang's Chinese cock basically mean no political dissent, no whistleblowing, no unpopular opinions, and blocking Facebook?
Exactly. The Great Firewall of China would become global.
Would become part of China's great cock.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follows. Yeah.
Which works for me.
Yeah.
Go build your own internet and make your own cock.
Right.
Wang.
We couldn't even manage to get people to obey a code of conduct on a stupid Lions message board. Which, by the way, I feel like we should talk about this.
My favorite.
Our Sunday is going to be atrocious. So we have our event Thursday night, and then Sunday morning we're waking up bright and early to go downtown and either witness the Lions' first win or a riot. We're convinced it's going to be one of the two. We will be drinking all morning. We typically do Bloody Marys, among various other things that we drink throughout the course of the day. We'll go to the game. When the game is over, we are then hopping, I'm assuming, into an Uber.
No, it's my child's birthday.
And then you're not going to wrestling?
No. Child's birthday supersedes wrestling.
Oh.
So it's just you and I then.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
All right, well then, Nuri and I will be hopping in an Uber and heading to XICW for the wrestling event. Yeah, it's going to be a long day.
Yep. Yeah,
so good. You can run the show on Monday night.
Yeah, I'll get on that.
Because Nuri and I will be destroyed.
I'll get on that. But hey, we'll be back in a little bit. Segment 2, we got Brian here from OST talking about app dev and a whole bunch of fun stuff.
Here comes your first Mixtape Monday break. This
is the IT in the D show, and we will be right back.
IT in the D. Networking Detroit. One beer at a time. ITinthed.com.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT in the D Show.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D Show.
Welcome back. Segment 2, episode 113. This is the IT in the D Show. We are recording here live, the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy, always here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online at itinthed.com. Give us a like on the Facebooks. Follow us on Twitter. And I think we're on Instagram.
And Choke on Popcorn.
Choke on Chicago Popcorn.
Choke on China's internet. Anyway.
Mark your... boo. Don't forget, mark your calendars. October 15th, Hamlin Corner. 5 o'clock till question mark. Social. No resumes, none of that stuff, no sales pitches, just and it's free, and your name won't be sold, and there won't be any multi-level marketing guys or vector marketing people and or Affleck
no one trying to sell you knives.
Nope, no knives.
You know it's going to be good because there's a question mark for the end time. I mean, come on, that's how you know an event is.
There always
awesome.
I did see the one guy commented in the meetup group. He's like, you really ought to put an end time. We're like, no, because that boxes us in.
Right. We say until 8, but it always runs later, and there's always a table that stays till midnight. And because we shouldn't have done that.
Us and
right. But hey, you came all the way here from Grand Rapids. Just want to introduce one of our first guests. We have Brian here from OST, Open Systems Technologies. I guess you're the business development guy on the app dev team. Can we figure that one out?
Yeah.
But but the app dev side has been, you guys are traditionally a, kind of data center integrator, cloud integrator. The app dev side is kind of new. Talk to me why you guys got into that side of the business and what's going on these days.
Yeah, I mean, OST is a very entrepreneurial company, and they were looking for an opportunity to diversify the business and provide more of a services offering to what they were traditionally doing with the data center services. And that's when they acquired a company called CBS Solutions, and then right after that hired me to start kind of the project-based app dev team. And we've built that team from myself to 60 people now in the last 6 years.
60, I mean, that's kind of nuts for an app dev side. I mean, you were joking with me earlier, like, I don't even know half the people's names. I know you're just being funny. But, I mean, it's hard to... When you build something that fast, to keep track of everything.
It is. There's been a lot of challenges, but I think OST's got this employee-first culture. We always like to say that our customers come second. Our employees come first. We try to do the right things for our people because we know when we do that they're going to do the right things for our customers. And we kind of try to live by that. And so I think that there has been some ups and downs trying to deal with that growth. But for the most part, we try to hire people that kind of believe that and it kind of works itself out.
Well, it's kind of a weird business. I mean, I'm sure it's changed, but like in 2000, 2001, I sold custom software development, right? Basically, taking legacy systems and putting them online.
Yep.
That was, oh my God, we're going to take your AS400 and put it on the internet.
Right.
Wow. But the problem always became, right, like, hey, we're coming off project, hurry up and sell something, or, oh shit, we got, we need to hire more people because you just sold too much. There was never, there was never a medium. No.
Yep.
I guess, are you guys coming, how are you guys, I guess, managing those peaks and valleys?
Yeah, for the most part, it's been peaks, right? So it's been a lot of growth, a lot of hiring, a lot of new clients, and a lot of clients. Like when we win a client, we tend not to lose that client because we tend to add a lot of value. We tend to try to do the right things. We try to bend over backwards to serve. So it has been mostly peaks. I think there's only been maybe one quarter in the last 6 years where it was somewhat of a down quarter, but it wasn't really that down. It was more like flat. So it's been mostly growth.
So did you say your customer acquisitions, you're talking about getting new customers, is it something that OST kind of, you pick up a customer because you're selling them a product and then you also find work in the app dev space, or do you actually go out and you find people who need APIs or a billing system integrated? Or
Both. I think that the thought early on was, hey, we've got all these customers, we should be able to find new opportunities. But the reality is that in the app dev space, it's a whole different set of people than it is in the traditional IT data center. A lot of times these folks, they know each other, but they don't even really talk to each other inside of companies.
I would assume it's probably usually the business and marketing teams that are driving it as opposed to the technology side.
Yes, and so like in app dev, I came from this history in West Michigan called it was Crow Chiswick. Then I went to this company called Sagestone, and then Sagestone got bought by this company called NewSoft, which was in Troy.
Know them?
I remember them. Yeah.
And so we got to know a lot of people over here. And so when we started OST, we kind of took that some of those core ideas around being at the beginning Microsoft focused, but we've kind of extended beyond that at this stage. And so there's just a lot of demand for that, a lot of demand for innovation.
Well, what is some? I guess give me an example. What are some people doing? Like every time I think app dev, I think like Domino's wants to order pizza online, right? And I get that. What are some of the things people are doing different these days, or want to get because again, me and Dave talk all the time. Like, well, I want an IT in the D app. He goes, well, that's stupid because it's the real estate's in hot and demand on your phone. Why clog it up? I mean, what are some of the things that you're seeing or people are wanting that are being brought today?
Yeah, well, it ranges from consumer-facing applications, like a client of ours is Chamberlain. They make garage door openers. LiftMaster is their commercial brand. They're using mobile apps now to open your garage door through your cell phone, right?
That button was such a pain in the ass on my advisor.
But just think about it. Like I go away from my house, and then all of a sudden I realize my garage door's open. And my neighbor calls me and says, "Hey, no, your power went out. Now the garage door's open." I would love a button on my phone to open and close my garage door.
If the power's out, the button on your phone won't do anything.
All right, back to the drawing board. Okay, back to the drawing board.
Well, wasn't it? Who was it?
So as soon as
unless the button triggers a servo somewhere that pulls the little red cord that slams your garage.
It's an Acme Wile E. Coyote pops out.
There's a Rube Goldberg. So there's a bird and a balloon
and a bowling ball. Yeah.
and so like another example would be Priority Health or Spectrum Health, right? Like they're My Health. I mean, you can go online and basically see everything about what's going on with your health file. That stuff used to be trapped in files on, remember the doctor's offices, all those huge filing cabinets in their offices? I mean, all that stuff's going into EMRs and other electronic means. Now they want to give it and be more consumer focused, right?
But isn't there a downside with that? I mean, like one of the common threads that we talk about every week on the show is security. Mm-hmm. Okay, great. All of my medical records are out there. Shit, all of my medical records are
huge challenges there.
But we know why you went to the doctor last week, Dave.
Yeah, exactly. That's all.
Yeah. But another interesting thing is that people think of apps as consumer-focused apps, right? But there's a tremendous amount of things you can do with mobile technology inside of companies. And another good example was one of our clients is the Mall of America. They have a huge amusement park in the middle of this mall.
Right.
And and we help them design and build a native Android app that runs on a commercial-grade Motorola device where it has a barcode scanner and a credit card swiper. When you go in there, you buy a wristband, and it used to be this podium you'd have to go up to. Now the ride operators can basically scan the entire line, and it increases the throughput of their ridership and makes them more money.
Well, one of the stories we didn't hit on earlier, and it's, if I go like to a blog today or if I read Network World, I'm going to see ads from Harry's, right? Because that's what last thing I looked at when I bought something, right? And they pushed.
I don't always shop for things on Amazon.com, but when I do, there's an ad for it waiting for me on Yelp.
Right. Something I already buy, and I don't need to see the ad. I'm already a customer. Yeah. Turn it off. But Facebook, there's something creepy happened. It was a story, something creepy happened on my phone, and I was talking to someone about XYZ, and all of a sudden I look at my phone, and there's an ad for Harry's, same thing, on my phone. So it's listening to TV ads, and it's pushing ads. Is that the way things are going these days? Or is that something that they're just doing that's completely...
That's the start your two-screen experience for The Walking Dead now, Bob. That's exactly what that is.
And that makes me so mad because I look at my phone to kill time between commercials. Mute the TV, sit there and scroll my phone, and now they're basically trying to follow me to my phone.
Yep, totally.
It drives me crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what's happening in that space is unbelievable. I mean, they're making split-second decisions. I was out at a conference, a NoSQL conference, a company called Couchbase, and they're basically saying that every time you have an ad like that, I mean, it's basically your data is getting tracked in a NoSQL database. It's getting pushed up to Cloudera, which is being run through a Hadoop, engine, getting results back in a split second to basically target you with.
See, that's my
just getting more and more and more intense.
That's my conspiracy theory.
Hadoop, not a song by En Vogue. It's not Shoop.
I thought it was from Street Fighter.
That was Shoop.
Hadouken?
Yeah.
No. No, but it's my conspiracy theory that they test market stuff in movies and TV and to see how people react. It's totally Minority Report. Yeah. Like you walk into the Mall of America, it's like, "Good morning, Mr. Wallenspiel. Lucky Jeans has your size in stock today."
We see
No, I don't.
We see your daughter's with you, so we'll talk about clothing today.
Yeah, right.
You see you're kind of sweaty. I think you're hungover from last night.
Would you like some vitamin
Slurpees
D?
On aisle
That's like Orange Julius.
No, but I mean, I guess, I argued with somebody, friend of mine that's in tech, and he's like, apps are dead, and I kind of laughed at him. I'm like, are you nuts? I don't even think they've started.
No.
I mean, we haven't even seen 10% of where this whole mobile thing's going.
Still think it's in their infancy. What people are doing with mobile technology, you just look at all of these wearable devices that are coming out in the marketplace, all the commercial uses for this stuff. It's still very early. And that's where, this kind of wave of cross-platform technology comes into play too, right? Because you start building these apps, you build them for each platform, and it becomes a pain in the neck to maintain them. Mm-hmm. It becomes a pain in the neck to actually target all these platforms.
Well, you have, you've got your iOS, your Android, your Windows. Now you've got, your connected car. You've got all your different proprietary
Android,
platforms that are there.
iOS.
Yep.
Well, you've got Android for car, but now you've got, Ford has announced they're getting, they're switching over to BlackBerries. Network of all things. It's secure. It's secure. There's a reason why the government is the largest, running installation of BlackBerries.
I thought you were going to say Windows NT.
Yeah, that was the city of Detroit that had the largest Windows ME installation.
No, it was 95. Probably both.
But no, I mean that's the crazy part. I mean that is. I mean it's not like, hey, we're building a website and away we go, and people can use whatever browser they want to get to it. It's now you've got to start catering to. It's what was the meme? You want to be a web developer? Here's your test platforms, and it was like 8,000 different, smartphones, tablets.
Yeah, totally. Testing becomes a nightmare, especially on Android. I mean, these things are so fragmented, and if you want it to be like a global application, think about all the different devices. There's thousands of these
double byte characters.
Devices,
you've got
different size screens, different keyboard configurations. I mean, it's just like the permeations are intense. Try and test that, And
I think, too, when you're developing on all those platforms, then the other side of app dev, APIs become super important.
Yeah.
And you guys are building APIs for people to get data as well?
Yeah, definitely. And then, there's a trend towards, enterprise service bus technology, basically
what's that, enterprise service
managing
bus?
Events. Service bus technology is it's an information bus that allows you to connect it to your other internal systems and make it more of a hub so that your APIs can be exposed and also kind of controlled. Instead of like just doing these point-to-point kind of things where you'd build just an API for your app and then it's kind of locked in there, you kind of integrate it with the service bus, and it allows you to kind of handle where the messaging goes and how it's exposed.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a pretty powerful set of technologies, and that's just becoming more and more mainstream when you do applications, queuing technologies, all those kind of things. Like you were talking about the garage door, like you hit the app that's actually going to get queued. So as soon as the electricity comes back on, then your garage door is going to close.
Who was talking about the? Was it Hudson or was it Dave Anderson that was talking about they got the doorbell or the door lock and they got locked out of their own house like the first day they installed it?
Yeah.
So basically they got this app where you swipe. It's kind of like I downloaded. I stayed at the a loft in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's keyless entry now because I downloaded the app and I'm like, was it really that hard to put the key in the thing, and now I have to open an app. I think sometimes they're taking it a little bit too far. I'm not
You're using technology just for the sake of using technology.
Right, yeah, totally.
Now give me the little key card. I'm good.
The key was fine. Yeah. Now it's like I gotta open up my phone. I gotta hit my.
I gotta find the app. I gotta log into the app. I gotta.
What was my password? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, from when I stayed here 6 months ago.
So to close things out, you were talking about you were talking about the app that you were building. Do you want to talk about that on the air? Is that for?
Let me talk about one more thing though, really quick, because I want to touch on that cross-platform technology.
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies still are building a lot of the apps as native applications. The guys are going to be on the show a little bit later. They built a pretty sweet iOS app, but now how do you get that to Android? And then longer term, how do you support that thing? And I think that this cross-platform technology is powerful. I think it's getting way mature. I think our clients through demand are basically telling us that it's worth your time, and so I think there's a couple of things like that Priority Spectrum Health app, that thing's a Cordova app.
So aren't we going back in time though? I mean, wasn't that the promise of Java? Write once, run everywhere. Wasn't that the promise?
Kind of the new beautiful thing, and that's where you get with a Xamarin, for example.
Right.
Their focus is share as much code as you possibly can. Right. Share the logic across these platforms, but target the devices at the user interface level.
Well, but I mean, wasn't that the whole point behind? I mean, and I guess to some degree, isn't Apple standing in the way of this? Wasn't that the point behind HTML5? HTML5 was supposed to allow you to go ahead and be your, have your Google, have your Android shell, invoke your website, you have your CSS, you have your responsive design, and then along comes Apple and says, yeah, that's cute, but you have to have X amount of content actually in the app before we'll allow you to publish.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because they want you to build natively.
Yeah.
Cards on table.
Yeah. And they do want you to build native. And by the way, when you do that, you get the best experience for that platform. I mean, that's what the developers of those platforms expose,
it absolutely is. I mean,
so,
but it's one of those. Okay, so do you want to be 100% for 50 different platforms, or do you want to be 80% for all of them and only have to do it once?
And that's the constant question that we consult around. I mean, that when it comes to cross-platform mobile, it's what's the right tools to use, because you could do HTML5 has a ton of power, and you can design a really good app that basically has tons of integration with native device functionality, but in some cases you won't get the
you can only go so far
user experience that you want, because you're just not taking advantage of the native APIs. So but there are cross-platform tools out there that allow you now to take advantage of those APIs. That's where it's like Xamarin is native API access, native performance, but you're doing cross-platform. You're writing code in C#. Cordova and Ionic and all these frameworks that are appearing in the HTML5 kind of bent on it. Super powerful stuff. I guess our thoughts is that you should seriously be considering a cross-platform solution and not just thinking about native just because you're getting the app off the ground. Like if you think cross-platform from the earliest stages, you're going to have tons of advantages in terms of longer-term maintenance and automation of builds and all those other kinds of stuff.
I mean, every time you fractionalize your code base, you've got one more maintenance point you have to deal with every time you have a new feature that you want to roll out. So, I mean, but I guess from a biz dev standpoint, I mean, I guess in your world, how much of your day-to-day life is no? that's got to be some of the, because it's a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
And it's and I think everybody in IT that deals with either the business side of the same company or sales guy walking to a company.
Yeah.
Part of your job should be telling customers what they don't need and what they don't want,
right?
Even when it's not necessarily what they want to hear.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm here tonight, right? I'm trying to evangelize cross-platform. I mean, I think that I think a lot of times you'll run into people that they're kind of set in, here's what we're going to do and here's what we think's the best way to do it, and sometimes we don't.
I read this
win
article in CIO magazine on the plane, and so
it's true that happens all the time.
Yeah, we'll talk about here's our experiences. We've done it native. We've done it cross-platform. Here's what our clients have told us after we've had successful projects or others. And so it's definitely saying no and just not being a fit. We always want to try and find the match. Where
because you don't want them mad when you're done.
Yeah. You want clients to reference you. You want clients to love you. You want to be their friends. You want. That's the goal, right? Is to do the right things for people.
Well, I had a big argument with one of the soccer dads who wanted to make an app for the club that we belong to. And he, oh my God, look at this app. It's great. Look at this app. And I go, what's different from this than if I go to the .com? I was like, well, nothing. I go, well, why did you make an app? Well, it's an app, right? And I said, you have to give me something different.
Yeah.
That's what we always bitch about LinkedIn. The app is the
touch version of the site.
Right.
Yeah.
You go to Delta, Delta.com, Marriott.com, it's the same on the app. You're not giving me anything other than a different experience.
Yeah, all you're asking for is real estate on my screen.
Those airline apps all the time now.
Yeah, but it's the same as going to the .com and with the web-enabled
I don't think so. I check in at the airport with this stuff.
So do I.
I do it on the website?
Absolutely.
No.
On the .com.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just maybe it's just me, or I think that most people they just think about apps now, especially I don't.
But
I don't go
you
to
hear
the
what I'm saying
website
though.
as much.
No, but you hear what I'm saying. You got to give me something. You got to give me a different experience than the web-enabled.com.
If I think you had the iOS version, I take my boarding pass on Delta, I add it to my lock screen, so as soon as I lock my phone, it's right there. I'm not fumbling with my phone trying to get into the boarding pass last minute. So I think Delta is an example of getting something from it. But yeah, if your mobile site is the exact same as your app, you've wasted a ton of money.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And God knows what they're paying for app dev when you are a Marriott or a Delta.
Right.
Totally.
Yeah. And so just also want to plug a quick event. We're doing an event next
the 22nd.
The 22nd.
Yep.
And if you're interested in cross-platform mobile, that's pretty much the topic. And one of our friends is coming in from Xamarin out in San Francisco. They're going to be at the Detroit Beer Company 5 to 8. So
we know them.
Yeah. Yeah. And
never been there.
Never.
So,
not once.
So if you're interested, definitely come down. We're just talking more about cross-platform, introduce you to people from Xamarin, and just have a good time. Just have some beers and network. That's really what it's all about.
How do we find follow you guys on Twitter to get the website, or they get the link for the event, or what's the best way?
Actually, I've got the link. I'll throw it in the recap tomorrow. But so it's OSTUSA.com, yes?
Yep, OSTUSA.com. Yep, and OSTGR.
Right.
Is our Twitter handle, although we need to broaden that because we have a downtown Detroit office, and we've had it for 2 years, and a Minneapolis office and a Chicago office, but we're still a little bit legacy with our headquarters being in Grand Rapids.
Happens.
Yeah.
My probably top 3, actually it's probably my favorite office of any place I've ever gone to. They bought an old building in Grand Rapids that used to manufacture board games, and they basically kept this building pristine with the big wood beams. I'm talking like 2 foot by 2 foot wood beams. The steps, everything. So all the meeting rooms are backgammon and
right.
But it's honestly probably one of the cooler buildings. They used to be in the train station next to Founders when Founders was like a 12-seat bar.
Right.
And then they moved and went into this building. But honestly, God, probably one of my favorite offices when I travel around the country.
Yeah, thank you.
So OSTUSA.com, and so all the information about who you guys are and what you do, as well as the event on Thursday the 22nd is out there. Very cool. Anything we missed?
Well, I got to plug one more thing.
Yeah.
So, and Bob, I demoed this game to Bob. I built it for my daughter, and so he told me I had to talk about it.
You have to.
All right. So my daughter is 8 years old, and so she's a second grader, and she said, "Dad, I want you to build me an app." And I'm like, "Well, what kind of app do you want?" She said, "I want you to build me a game." And I said, "All right, well, what kind of game?" She said, "I don't know." So we're talking.
So typical business client.
Yeah, this this is so familiar with my day-to-day work.
One in cornflower blue.
Right. Yeah, but so I think we were I don't know, we were at a table, we were playing tic-tac-toe, and then like I'm not kidding, like she let the loudest fart that I've heard out of a little 8-year-old. And I'm like, what the heck was that? And she's laughing at me, and we're kind of having a laugh. And I'm like, well, what about tic-tac-toot? And she's like, oh, yeah, I love it. So we built a game called Tic-Tac-Toot. The main character's name is Fartastic. And you basically play.
Is it Bob?
Yeah, it looks just like he looks just like Bob, except he's a whoopee cushion. And you play tic-tac-toe. You get to press the whoopee cushion. It's coming out in the App Store in the next 3 weeks. So.
That's hilarious.
It's going to be way better than Flappy Birds.
That's outstanding. I can see us pushing the hell out of that.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it.
I'm all over it. Hey, Brian, appreciate you hanging out. OST. We'll be back in segment 3 with the guys from Fireside app. It's a cool new way to consume podcasts. Should be a good segment. This is the IT in the D show, and we will be right back.
IT in the D, networking Detroit, one beer at a time. ITinthed.com.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D show.
And we're going to bring it down a little for Couple Skate.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
Welcome back. This is segment 3, episode 113. God, I can't believe we made it this far.
Mixtape Monday.
IT in the D show. We are broadcasting to you live in the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here with Dave the Geek, Nuri the FNG. Find us online, itinthed.com, and find all the good stuff there.
I think we just find my brain still in New Hampshire. That's where I'm at.
We finally released we haven't written a blog in forever. I think we just released the political pundit for all your friends that post those crappy political Facebook memes.
Nobody's opinion has ever been changed by a bumper sticker or a Facebook meme.
No, but if they just read this one article about Donald...
But just one. It'll change your life, man.
That's me. Don't forget, mark your calendars, October 15th, Hamlin Corner.
You can just say Thursday.
Thursday, we're going to be... Well, I don't know when you're releasing it. If you release it Thursday, then it's Thursday. Then it might be the next Thursday. No, it might be the following Thursday.
Yeah, because that's me. I'll take until Thursday to get this out.
Right.
That's totally me. Yeah.
Totally. All those new people you have to call in New Hampshire. I missed you so much.
Don't make me get all nostalgic again.
So, hey, real quick.
I'll start naming names.
Speaking of app dev, this segment is brought to you by Braintree. Developers around the world have embraced their software developing kits, their SDKs, the easiest way to add secure mobile payments to their apps and websites. No matter what payment type, Braintree will accept it. Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, Venmo, all your credit cards, even Bitcoin. And if something new pops up, they will support it too. And they'll actually have a help desk that will help you install it. It's 10 lines of code. It's the same payment solution used by Uber, Airbnb, GitHub, Grubbable. You know it scales. Integrating it into your app is easy as inserting a few lines of code. And it's non-intrusive.
It is pretty simple. And we have actually talked with a couple of the guys in the Detroit area developers group that heard about it through us, and they're playing around with it to see what happens, and it's going pretty well so far.
So don't take our word for it or their word for it. Try out the sandbox and see it yourself at BraintreePayments.com/IT, lowercase it. That's BraintreePayments.com. That's COM/IT, lowercase.
So is there no, it is, because the uppercase doesn't work. I've pointed that out to them, and they have not fixed it yet. So it is, yes, use the lowercase, because you're case sensitive on the internet.
Of course.
Absolutely makes sense. So no coupon code needed, Bob?
No coupon code.
No.
Just /IT,
just
lowercase.
Lowercase IT. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
So, hey, I met these guys a while ago and thought it was a great idea and said, call me when you guys are ready. And they're ready. But we got Eric and Christian here from an app called Fireside app. I guess I could explain it, but you'll probably be better off explaining it because it's probably changed since we had coffee. I'll never forget this place. That was the place I went to downtown. I'm like,
the Wi-Fi password?
Yeah, what's the Wi-Fi password? Kill the rich. Like, great.
Strange place. Oh, man.
There's a guy who's completely baked out of his mind at like 8:30. I don't even know what he was trying to tell us. And we're sitting there going, Like, we should hang out here every day. It was brilliant, people watching. But yeah, Christian, Eric, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being patient.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
from what I get from Fireside, it's kind of, finding podcasts is hard, right? You can go to iTunes and find the new and noteworthy, right? But it's the same 25 podcasts, right? Especially with us, we're on SoundCloud. It's tough. And especially if you like something, how the heck do you share it out? So, I mean, I guess that's what I got out of it. Well, you tell me what Fireside is, then I guess we meet in the middle.
No, exactly. I mean, that you hit it on the exact point. So it's social podcast discovery is exactly what it is. So, I mean, the idea is that podcasts like this one, I mean, you got these great shows. You have all these very shareable moments, like Dave over here saying, it's my show. I'll say whatever the hell I want. So it's like there's got to be a way to just grab that moment and share it wherever you want. And so that's essentially what Fireside is. Right now it's...
so they're going to make me making our intros easier.
Easier,
is what I'm
exactly.
hearing.
Just stitching sound bites together, right. So that's all it is. I mean, you can, download the app on the App Store, and then you can just grab 20 seconds of this show and share your favorite soundbite of it. So, and then part of it too is following what your friends and family are listening to, so you can discover new shows based on what they're sharing, what they're recommending, and exactly. It's just a new way to listen to and share podcasts live on the App Store.
So
now.
you said friends and family. Is that something that it's going to integrate with other social platforms, or do I need to actually go in, log into the app, friend all my friends again?
Right. No, exactly. So it's built off of the Facebook social graph, so it's just that easy. So you go in, all your Facebook friends are right at the top. You can just follow them, or some of those Facebook friends that are more of acquaintances. Really, you don't have to follow them.
I
if
really
you don't
care
want
what
to.
podcast my mom is
Yeah,
listening
exactly,
to. Right,
something like that. So so it's built off the Facebook graph, so it's pretty easy to find your friends and see what they're listening to. Yeah.
So let's say you grab that clip that Dave said earlier or whatever. We talk about the China Code of Conduct. We want to share that out. I mean, is there a way then to say, like, hey, I want to listen to the whole episode. Here's where you grab it. What's the end then after you just saw the clip?
Yeah, exactly. So then right within Fireside, what happens is it'll show up in someone's feed, right? They'll see all these sound bites, and they'll say, oh, man, that's a hilarious one from Bob, right? I'll listen to that sound bite, and right there you can add that episode to your queue to listen later, or you can just hit, hear the rest right from that sound bite and dive right into that episode and keep cruising right there.
Nice. So right now you're iTunes, right?
Yeah. So we're just on iOS right now on the App Store. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of cross-platforms,
I know
this is a great segue. So when the hell's Android coming?
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. That's the thing, and it was funny that he was here talking about that because that's something that we ran into. Cross-platform isn't as easy as I think he's making it sound sometimes, but hopefully he knows some technologies that I just haven't come across to make it easier. So the plan is Android. Top of the priority list. So we're going to try to get it out as soon as possible, probably a couple months here. But it's tough to design from the very start cross-platform.
Well, there's no going back to the roots of this whole thing. There's no ubiquitous way. There's no rules of podcasting. There's no ubiquitous way.
Well, no, apparently there are because we keep getting told that we break.
Yeah, we break every one of them. Good, and I'm happy to hear that. I would not want to know that. Yes, you are following the guidelines of podcasting. But what I'm trying to get at is the way people consume podcasts is not ubiquitous, right? Like I listen to a SoundCloud stream in my car, Bluetooth to the stereo.
Right.
People, other people download. Like I have podcast. I started messing around with apps. I have Podcast Addict. I boot up Wi-Fi and it starts pulling episodes. Like I don't need to clog up my like if it's sitting there and just like the Art of Charm has the guys we were talking about earlier. Yeah. They have an app and you push play kind of like ours and it just goes right. You pick an episode and it goes and you stream it to Bluetooth. I mean. What are you guys finding out? Like, obviously, I think is your method preferred to have it downloaded, or can I pull it from anywhere?
Right. No, that's totally the idea. I mean, so exactly. There's no ubiquitous way or common really way that people listen to podcasts. I mean, you don't know the activity they're doing. They could be running or in the car or just at home kicking back, relaxing. They could be on Android, iOS, or even on a website, right? So it's impossible to really know, how someone's going to be listening to your show. But to me, the idea... You've noticed, yeah. You probably know this far better than I do. But, I mean, that's the whole idea is that you don't know what they're going to be doing. So for us, it's all about simplicity because a lot of these apps have gotten pretty ridiculous with the smart playlists and ridiculous features. And there's 100 podcast apps, but none of them get to the root cause or the root problem, I would say, in audio, which is the fact that it's not easily shared. And so to me, sharing and getting more people excited about shows is all about making it really simple, making sharing audio as easy as, snapping a photo. And so that's what we try to do with the app, and that's just kind of our approach to it because you just don't know. You have to make it simple so that wherever you are, it's easy.
Now, go ahead.
So how does that work, right? So download the app, I'm listening to the app. Bob pronounces quadrillion right with a Q, but cannot say coupon right.
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So
coupon.
So Randy Walker, thank you for that. He actually tweeted, Bob said a word with the Q correctly. I'm like, yes, Randy. So how do I take that from the app?
Wasn't Q-drillion.
Stop talking.
So how do I take that soundbite and then snap into like a little, how do I like cut and trim and paste into something that I can share?
Shit, that was funny. I want to go back, right?
Totally, yeah.
Totally, yes.
Over and over while I run.
Yeah, awesome question. So, I mean, the idea is for us, while you're on the app, it's on the now playing screen, just a pretty normal player that you'd see on any app, right? And then right on top of the image, on top of the cover art, it's just a little waveform that just goes up and down with the voice. You just hold that down, and that's it. You capture the moment, and you can tweet it, you can share it to Facebook, you can do whatever you want. So, yeah, and then as far as coming back, we're coming out with some cool new features actually shortly where you will be able to, search for sections right within an episode, search the actual audio of that episode to jump back to something really cool. Not transcriptions.
Or more tagging.
Sorry?
Like more tagging?
No, it's actually just going to scan through the audio file, and then it'll understand where you want to search, but without doing a transcription. It's pretty cool. So that's still...
So if you search for like fart, it'll stop at like his TikTok.
Yeah, it'll show you all the timestamps with fart in it, and you can jump back to wherever you want. So that's coming, as well as you can take little, essentially, bookmarks of spots. Let's say you're going along, you want to remember that. Yeah, you just
skeptical. Dave is skeptical. What's up?
Dave is very skeptical. I can see this look at it.
A little bit. So I'm going back to like the first couple releases of Dragon and the Naturally Talking and all that stuff. Like, how are you handling? You know, it has to do some sort of voice recognition. It has to do some sort of pattern matching. So I mean, how do you handle? Like this show where we may have, a very well-spoken CIO on it. We may have roller derby girls that,
they're just going to drawling around.
Yeah, and we may have people that are, including us, that are bombed out of their mind. Let's talk about stuff.
So what's interesting about that is that's where I'm actually working with a U of M grad who started this company called Lexica, actually. So I'll put a little plug in there for him called Lexica. And what he's doing is he's using phonetic indexing. And so I don't know all of the specifics about it, but instead of...
I think I've actually read about it. Okay,
so instead of trying to make a transcription where you say, okay, Bob and Dave are talking about something, I'm going to try to get every word, and then we'll just search the words like Google would, right?
Right.
Instead of doing that, we're going to match up what the frequencies and pitches sound like of certain words, get kind of an average of that word, and if it's close to what you said, we can pull that in, and that counts as a match. Some crazy technology, and I may be totally fudging this too. That's how I understand it, but we'd have to talk to him more about
it. You'll search for fart, and then you'll get every instance of us talking about like the PBR art show.
Right.
It's quite possible.
Search for coupon, and you only get instances of coupon.
Well, the way he's we're never going to get coupon, but that's fine. That's fine. But so the idea is to make it as accurate as possible. But what's cool is that no one's done it before. So if we roll it out and you can find spots that you otherwise would have missed, we think that would just be really awesome.
No, that is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see how that works out.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm just sitting here kind of shaking my head, and Dave looks over at me. He's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "This is freaking brilliant." I feel like this is like such a cool thing to in the space that we don't have. And I'm like, shut up and take my money. Yeah. Are you actually taking money? Do I have to give you money to use this?
That's just awesome. No, it's entirely free on the App Store, and it will be free on Android as well. So,
no ads, nothing annoying, just good user experience.
Yeah, exactly. No visual ads, none of that. Just listening to podcasts and sharing the best moments.
I think that's another hard thing about podcasting is that it can be so obscure, right? There are people out there who have little access to things, and adding a social element to that is just a brilliant way to kind of get exposure out there for little-known groups. That's so
exactly, because how else are you going to find something outside the top 100?
So where are you pulling podcasts from? Are you syndicating from iTunes, SoundCloud? I mean, where's all this data coming from that you're pulling into the app?
Exactly. So it comes from absolutely anywhere. So we are essentially crowdsourcing the catalog of shows. So we've got a few hundred shows on there right now, but we made it super easy just right at the bottom of the Discover page. If you can't find something, you just type in the title, and it's on there that day for you. So, anything you could ever imagine will be on there.
Is IT and the D in there now?
IT and the D is on there. So you could share, if you're listening on Fireside, you could share whatever you want from
Christian was smart. He did like a top 10 podcast, vote for your top. So that was their coy way of compiling this list of library
exactly. Yeah, we asked people to vote for their top podcasts and just said, "Hey, those are the ones people are listening to. Let's put them on the app." So
and it was idiots like us, plugging our own crap.
Yeah. It was great, man. It was great.
Organic growth.
Right.
Yeah, so, us internet voting rigging? No,
we would never do that.
Never.
Entirely
we never ever think of doing that.
Crazy.
CBS Blog of the Year. We would ever think about it ever.
We're award-winning bloggers now.
That never happened.
Award-winning, world-famous pizza. Like, wait, what world? Like,
yeah, we're the #1 seller in the New York Times bestseller for fiction, nonfiction, science, technology, geek, internet,
LGBT. Yeah.
Don't be that guy. Yeah, we're the number one there. We're the So I mean, I guess is it out and about? Like how do people find it? Where can they get to it? How can they start playing with it?
No, totally, exactly. So it is. Yeah, it's live on the iOS App Store right now. Just search Fireside. It's
downloading
the
now.
First one downloading now, and it's up on the App Store, and then also just at fireside.audio. So it's not .audio.com. It's just fireside.audio.
You're the one that bought a .audio.
Hey man, you gotta. Hey, it's audio, right? So and fireside.com was taken, so I just decided fireside.audio.
It's not as good as our .pizza domain we own, but
true.
What's the other one that I got the other day?
We have a .ninja.
Did you get the .ninja?
We have IT and the .ninja still goes to us.
Oh, we do.
It does, yeah.
Is .guru coming anytime soon?
We're really nervous about the guru
That's
thing.
fine.
Yeah.
We're experts, not guru.
Experts.
We have diarrhea.pizza, and we're forwarding it to hungryhowies.com.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, we're not doing it. No, someone else. We heard someone else do it at a coffee house downtown.
Someone else.
They were trying to eat the rich. So, so you talked a little bit something like what are Okay, so iOS, not Android yet.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Okay, talking about features on the horizon. Is that coming?
Yeah, Android is definitely coming. Yeah, top priority because we know, and for us at least, when we messed around with Android apps. So I'm an iOS user myself, but I got an Android phone. I wanted to test it out, see what the options were, and the podcast app scene was just kind of brutal in Android for me.
Oh, it absolutely is.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like visual ads and like crazy banners at the bottom of these things, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I don't know if it's just because Apple, started the whole podcasting thing, and Android's just never really caught up, or I just don't know.
Apple didn't start podcasting.
Apple didn't start. Where did it?
No, Apple did not start podcasting.
History lesson here. Okay.
No, and MP3s existed long before Apple came along with podcasting, and people were throwing WAV files and all that nonsense out on the internet.
True. Netcasting and
it was
such.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, point
ham radio.
Is it fair to say
Pointcast had audio files in it, and that was what 97,
wasn't
98.
the guy with the lion hair from MTV, the VJ? Didn't he kind of revolutionize podcasting?
Yeah.
With Adam
Curry. Yes.
Is it fair to say Apple popularized podcasting?
Oh, like most things, Apple invents nothing, but they market the hell out of
everything else.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then the evangelists are like, no, Apple did it. Like, no,
they really
then maybe
didn't.
I follow that category. Well, that's the thing. So, I mean, you guys are all. I mean, Eric here's an Android user too, and he tried to check out some podcast apps, and I don't know. What has your experience been with it?
I tried to listen to podcasts. I had to buy an iPhone to start listening. It was such a brutal experience.
Well, so I don't go out and explore very much. I mean, I listen to stuff on through the SoundCloud app because it's there and that's where our stuff is, and so I'll click around in there.
Right.
I hate iTunes.
I know
it's a pain in the ass for us to deal with, which is why we don't focus on it. It's too much.
Right.
Stitcher's out there. Yeah, Stitcher does its thing, but I mean, it's kind of got a clunky UI, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, there's not a whole lot of really great, wading through all the nonsense that's out there, podcast apps.
See, here's Podcast Addict, and there's the IT and the D show. It's crazy.
That's
yeah. I just like seeing the logo.
We're the only ones.
Do you like the banner ad at the bottom there?
Oh.
Is that,
yeah,
the banner ad scrolling around the bottom there?
Game of War. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe you'll click on it.
I don't know.
Ad
So at the core, that's really what we wanted to focus on was just a great experience listening to podcasts. Really at the core.
Yeah, exactly. So
I just logged in and I snagged the username Nuri. I am so thrilled.
Oh boy,
there you go.
There it is.
Turkish people around the world are pissed off.
They'll never get it.
Damn it.
So I mean, other than Android, I mean, what's on the horizon for Fireside? I mean, you've got the voice recognition thing coming along. Social is huge. So share to where? I mean, is it sharing just on Facebook? Is it sharing? If we're on SoundCloud, does it share in Sound?
Right, no, totally. And that's the thing is we want it to be. I mean, it's obviously version 1, so 1.0, so it's the earliest release. But what it is we want to essentially take podcasting technology out of this archaic state that it's been in for the last 10 years. Because
it still is.
Yeah, and it hasn't advanced, since the RSS feed kind of came out. It's still, syndicated essentially the same way, right? Yeah. So a decade later, we just think with everything else becoming digitized and shareable with, Instagram for photos, text on Twitter, videos on YouTube and Vine and wherever else, it's time for audio to really be thrust into the mainstream. So that's, and, maybe this is coming from some, an audio bias. I'm an audiophile, I love music and everything. So to me, it's like, come on, damn it, audio's got got to get in the mainstream one of these days. So
catch up.
Catch up, right? So that's really the goal. It's just like, these shows are so awesome. You can listen wherever you are. It's right on your phone. Like, why isn't there a place where you can share it just like a photo and do it, right on your phone? So to us, it's really getting that social experience right. So we're going to hone in on that. And until we get that right, that's really our main focus.
Dude, I'm sitting here playing with your app and I totally have a crush on it.
He's got a crush on it, yes.
So good freaking job, guys. Seriously.
One new user. Thanks, man. Well, thank you so much. So, exactly. So it's really getting that social experience right and just doing anything. We're open to suggestions. That's what's cool. It's like, hey, we're just going to build this thing for the community, by the community. I mean, we listen to countless podcasts, so it's like, I just want to build something awesome that people would love using. So,
and right now you can share it on Facebook, Twitter, like any social platform pretty much. And even if you just want to go back and forth with a friend, you can even just like text it to them.
Yeah, it's just a link is all it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, it's just a link.
Admit it, you don't listen to our show. It's all right, though. We won't judge you.
IT in the what?
In the who?
In the
where?
And what? But,
all right, so what didn't we hit on?
So what didn't you hit on?
Break?
Man, it seems like we hit on it all, really. We hit the social features. We talked about, audios, mainstream comeback, I should say. That's really about it. So it's available on the App Store. Download it now and share your favorite part of this episode and all future IT and the D episodes to come. Man.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right. If you're done playing on Reddit.
If you're done playing around.
Do you want to keep up? Or,
Doing a podcast form. I was looking at the podcast.
He's looking to see what's going on.
Bob's like, I got to add Bob on that app. I did.
Dave can zone out and it's fine. I do it for 1 millisecond. Calls me out on it. Suck. We got Kate here all the way from San Francisco with NewCo. We're going to be talking to her in segment 4. Cannot wait. This is the IT in the D show, and we will be right back.
IT in the D, Networking Detroit. One beer at a time. ITinthed.com.
Hello, everybody. It's Jason David Frank, the Green Ranger, and you are listening to IT in the D.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT in the D show.
All right, welcome back. Segment 4, episode 113 of the IT in the D show. We are broadcasting live the Detroit Sound Studios in beautiful Ferndale, Michigan. This is Bob, the sales guy, here with Dave the Geek and Nuri, the FNG. Find us online at itinthed.com. Don't forget, Thursday, October 15th, Hamlin Corner, either the left side or the right side. I have no idea yet, but we will be there and come out with some business cards and meet some cool folks in the Metro Detroit IT community. And
or not, just hang out and drink, whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. Just sit at the bar.
We're easy.
I'll just be sitting at the bar, so
Probably.
you might as well just sit at the bar. I just do stuff because I know Dave will yell at me for it. So, what will Dave get mad at me about tonight? That's what I'm going to do. It's true.
We really are an old married couple.
Yeah,
And I'm the bastard stepchild.
but Kate, you just
Yes.
we have Kate here from NewCo. You just landed on a flight like literally at 8 o'clock and took an Uber straight here. You are a trooper, and we appreciate you being here and hanging out with us, goofballs.
No, wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Good.
You're my people. You're my men.
So
You're my tribe. My man tribe.
Isolate that. Where's Fireside when we need it?
Where's that clip and share?
Right. But Kate, we still haven't figured out. Like, you guys used to be OpenCo.
Yeah.
And now you're NewCo.
We are indeed.
Did somebody slap your wrist, or did you go for a brand change, or how?
No. What happened was when John Battelle, who is our founder, very first created this whole. And let me just take a step back. So what NewCo is? NewCo, the artist formerly known as OpenCo,
yes,
is
now they're a symbol.
Now we're symbol, and so much more. Now, soon to be an adjective, I might add. Oh, how NewCo. So no, what we are is we're a global media platform. And we identify and connect and celebrate companies like everybody you talk to. Like everyone tonight, I was sitting there listening, thinking, oh my gosh, Fireside, total NewCo. These guys, I forget all the different letters, but that acronym, they are us. But seriously, and so what we do is we drop into cities. First project is it's festivals, business festivals. We're based on it. We're built on a music festival model, meaning we have 5 or 6 different tracks. We drop into a city. We talk to the influencers, such as yourselves, gentlemen.
Lies, all lies.
And we find out who are the people that we should be talking to, who are the people that are doing really interesting, innovative things, kind of doing disruption. You can be a big company, a small company, a startup. You can be education. We run the gamut. You have to have 3 things. You have to be a business on a mission. You have to utilize technology, right, to make it accessible to everyone. And then you really have to kind of get that notion of what your role is as a community member. So we often say, we kind of like to collect the companies and the people that are driving positive change. But positive change can be something like, oh my gosh, how can I access the podcast that I love better? It's just making life a little bit better.
Mission, we
suck less.
We have
that's
no
what
mission.
We keep,
less. That's
what we keep going for.
That's it.
We will never get to perfect. We
haiku.
just want things to suck less.
Technology, we use the Twitters.
Yeah.
Community,
we have the Facebooks.
Yeah, I don't know about the community.
We're on the LinkedIns.
But then ask yourself, are you changing the world? Are you totally changing the world?
No.
Oh, but in a way, you might be.
We're
Maybe a
networking
little
Detroit.
nerdlet might be like feeling
One beer at a time.
We're networking Detroit, one beer at a time.
We have global listeners. We still don't understand that one.
Tons of them.
But the thing that I think, and Bob, you were asking me this. So why Detroit? What makes Detroit? I mean, of all the different cities all around, how did we pick Detroit? And really, you know what it is? I think that you, of all the cities, really kind of embody the whole NewCo essence, right? You get that the community together is what's going to make this place a better place. You totally get the tech thing. And I think that's the thing that's fascinating to me is you, more than any other city, in a lot of ways, are really being intelligent about how you're using technology. So, for instance, you take a company like Barrio, who is it's a productivity tool, but really it's about helping people who have food in restaurants and getting them their access to the materials faster. So you might sit there and say, oh, my gosh, that's a tech company. But really, some could say that's a food company, right?
Okay.
You've got kind of your classic folks like Amber, who does, the app development. You've got yourselves, because you also are one. You've got Rocket Fiber, who's obviously changing massively the way that the world is going to be getting all their content, especially here. But then you've also got people like Walker Miller Energy, who's using technology to help people get a better access to energy and to be able to get cheaper deals. And so, again, helping people who don't have access to things get access to things through the use of technology.
So are you like trying to, I don't know, I hate the word build awareness, but are you trying to like get everyone to say, oh my God, I didn't know about that, Walker? Like,
yes, exactly. What we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of help all the people that are doing really cool things like this, that are trying to help, make life a little bit better, get the visibility. Because really, the ultimate sort of juju goal, I'm a 4th-generation Californian, so I know my juju. It's really kind of about shifting that whole definition of success to be financial profit plus social progress, right? And technology plays a huge role in that right now in moving us all forward. So, yes, we're trying
We like profit.
Yeah, we love profit, love money. Money's a good thing. I like me my money. But at the same time, obviously, it can do some bad things, but really more often than not, it does really good things. I mean, nonprofits, that's one of the things I often say business bilingual. I've spent time on the for-profit and also on the nonprofit. And really, nonprofits need to know and learn how to use money better. So there's now a lot of technology companies that are trying to help them figure out.
Well, and you have some nonprofits that are out there sitting around with billions of dollars in the bank.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And the stuff is that the money never goes to the people, right? That really are supposed to be getting it. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're just in the process. I'm going to do 2 shameless plugs right now, or 3, because I just slipped an extra one in there. We do these festivals in 16 cities around the world. And so after we do Detroit, we're going to be doing Detroit actually in the spring of 2016. The reason I'm out here is we were going to do it this week. We've done it for the past 2 years.
Yep.
But we never really felt like we did it well. And certainly, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, everybody. We did it okay, but not. I don't think we really.
But you're looking to suck less.
We're looking to suck less. We're becoming a NewCo. We've been walking the talk. And so, really, what we're trying to do is I'm spending the week right now, the next 3 days, going around and talking to everyone to find out, okay, what needs to be done, what's missing, that sort of thing. We're doing an event at the Madison from 6 to 8 on the 14th. We've got Jake Cohen's going to be talking to us from Detroit Ventures. I've got Edie, who's going to be there from Rocket Fiber. I've got Carla Walker-Miller, who's going to be there from Walker-Miller Energy. And I've got a guy by the name of Sebastian Jackson, who is the founder of a really interesting organization called Social Grooming Club. And what they do is he took all the extra hair from his barbershop and he gave it to a whole divorce. I know this is not really a tech thing, but it kind of is. It's like botany meets tech. Hair, who knew, speeds up composting.
What?
Yes.
Today I learned.
Yes, see?
I learned.
You learned. Use that as a little soundbite there. Right. So anyway, what he's done is he's taken all of his excess hair from his customers and he's given it to this afforestation organization.
Deforestation organization.
Not deforestation. Die, tree, die.
Save the hair, kill the forest.
One follicle at a time. So anyway.
I was on, while you're talking, I was on GoDaddy, and since you guys are NewCo.co, suckless.co is available if you guys want to go that route.
Hey, that's actually, you know what? Note to self. Definitely may do it.
But the speakers going on, I mean, is there networking? What else is going on at that?
Yeah, so what's going to happen at the event? Everybody will come. It'll be a great time. There'll be a little bit of networking. And really what it is we call it a NewCo jam session. So it personifies and kind of is a bit of a teaser of what the entire festival is really like. So you'll come, there'll be a little bit of networking, there'll be then the panel discussion, and it's going to be much more a conversation. I always say we're kind of the campfire, fireside chat, that sort of thing, tying it into you guys.
Nice,
There's
perfect.
another plug. You can thank me later.
Sans guitars.
Yes, exactly. No acoustics.
No.
I was going to say they should partner. Like they said, she said spring, and we have our next pink slip party. But I just looked, and there's a problem with the third Thursday for our next pink slip party.
Why?
In March, because that's St. Patrick's Day.
No, April.
There will be no pink slip party on St. Patrick's Day.
No.
I can't even imagine.
It's not going to happen.
I think we'll run the week before.
Yeah.
We'll go the 10th.
Yeah. And
my God.
We're actually thinking we're talking to some folks to do it during the week of April 11th.
Okay.
So we're in conversations with Tech Week, possibly doing partnership stuff there.
Oh. Why did we invite you out again?
I will be the bridge that helps. Can't we see the love tonight?
No, I think we burned that bridge. I think we may have actually napalmed it.
And we were proud. Love the smell of napalm.
So Wednesday is the teaser for what will be the bigger thing.
For what will be the bigger thing, yes.
What is the goal with the bigger thing?
So the goal with the bigger thing really is about getting the community out and about and kind of recognizing and sort of getting one to know the neighborhood, because the way NewCo works, we go into the company and the company agrees to open their door and spend an hour doing an hour-long TED-like talk. So you hear from, for instance, Jacques from Shinola.
Okay.
We'll be giving an hour-long conversation talking about either what's going on with Shinola, some challenges they've been having. At this specific jam session, we're going to be talking about, to go full circle, talent and the importance of talent acquisition, talent retention, what people are doing, what are some kind of unusual strategies that people are using and taking to get people in and not letting them out, but kind of drawing them into it. So we try to do the jam sessions as a way to keep the whole NewCo movement and the NewCo conversation alive from festival to festival, so that you don't have a big, long 1 year gap.
Right.
You can do a quarter to a quarter. So usually what we do is we'll partner with several different companies and then all get together and have a conversation. Okay. Kind of think of, your pink slip parties, but with less pink, more green.
Less beer.
Yeah. Well, no, there's that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We like beer.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never had anything against beer.
And why don't you like pink?
Well, no. And then to answer your question about OpenCo versus NewCo, one of our very first partner had been American Express.
Right.
And so when they were talking about, Amex Open, it got a little bit, heated as we got a little bit bigger. They wanted a little bit more. Everybody decided people...
Because they promote small business.
Small Business Saturday brought to you by the card that
no
small businesses can't afford.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Really, for
Amazing.
the long run, probably not a good one.
Yeah, probably not the best fit.
So yeah. So now we're looking elsewhere.
So it's Wednesday at the Madison.
Yes.
It is
6 to 8.
6 to 8?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a pre-reg required? Can people just show
Yes,
up?
you can
What's
go
the scoop?
to DET, that's debt.newco.co, and sign up. There's a registration. The other thing you can do, too, is send me a note at kate.newco.co.
At.
Oh, sorry, at. You're right, not Kate, not yet. You don't know. Kate@newco.co, and I'll be sure to get you in.
Okay. Very cool. So it's again, more of a listen and learn session as opposed to a networking kind of thing.
No,
but
there's networking at the beginning and networking at the end. So
Okay.
it's going to be about half hour of the conversation, of the panel conversation.
Okay.
So of the 2 hours, half hour, 45 minutes will be seated, quiet, listen. Although jump in with questions.
It's like a networking sandwich.
It is. It's kind of a networking
So
Oreo.
we'll show up for the networking and then we'll go have a beer over at DBC
Yeah.
and then we'll come back.
We'll come back.
There you go. As if you never left.
I'm convinced the people at those things, the people like that go to TED and all they do is sit in the crowd with their Twitter open, waiting for that one quotable moment,
that Twitterable moment,
and then they send it out on the Twitters, and they're like, "We did it, we did it." Then they wait for the next one. They're not listening; they're waiting for that quote, like whatever they repeat twice. Like that must be important. I'm going to tweet her that one out.
Yep,
That's
and
what-
then you get
yeah.
retweeted.
Exactly.
And into fame. Although Twitter is one of our partners this year. So,
Interesting.
yes.
Don't bash it. And so is Snapchat.
No, I will.
Bashing Twitter, watch it.
And so is
I cannot bash
Snapchat.
that one. I
No, we
don't
like
understand.
Twitter. We just don't
Snapchat is
understand
as well.
Twitter.
No, we've got, that's, I think, been the coolest thing that this has been a year, and next year is going to take off even more, really, is we've gotten a lot of momentum. So next year we'll probably be in about 20 to 25 cities, everywhere from Tel Aviv to Amsterdam to Singapore to Miami and Las Vegas. Viva, baby. So we're growing in that sense. We're in the process we just launched a daily newsletter called NewCo Daily that you can sign up for to get all your NewCo news that's fit to print.
So is that targeted? Like, can I narrow that down to say I only care about the stuff you're sending out about Detroit?
So that's one of the things we're working out and working into is we have certain affiliate markets. Detroit is one. We have 5 owned and operated, which are the ones where we produce the festivals and then outside. So that's one of the things we're doing is doing segmented, specific, market specific, so that we can get the content specifically from that marketplace, and then also if there are specific, advertisers and sponsors who want to get
makes sense.
Special.
Okay.
So yes.
Are we going Wednesday?
Why not?
Huh?
No, we have to be here Wednesday. We can't forget about that.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
No.
Oh, yeah, right.
No, we'll explain that off the air. We need to be here Wednesday.
Yeah, off the air.
There's a thing.
All right.
Yeah, there's a thing with the people and the stuff. And the,
Yeah.
Yes. We need to be here. Okay, so what did we not hit on about NewCo that we should have by now?
We're going to be launching a big media play in March. It's going to become kind of the next voice of the future of business. So stay tuned. More to come. Nothing big there.
I was
no
like, yeah,
bravado
that's
there.
kind of a
just
awfully
a little something.
Big reach goal.
Yeah. Well, dream
Okay.
big.
All right.
Like
I'm
you
good with
guys. All right. Well, and thanks very much too. Really appreciate you guys making the time.
Well, of
Hearing the
course.
Story.
Likewise.
Yeah.
It's been a good chat so far. All right, so are we good? What did we not hit on?
good.
We've got our event Thursday night. We've got that event on Wednesday night over at the Madison. We've got our event Thursday night over at Hamlin Corner in Royal Oak. Fireside guys, thanks for hanging out.
Hey, thank you.
And people can find you out at
fireside.audio or just on the App Store, search Fireside.
Awesome. And det.newco.co is where we find everything about NewCo. And then we've got OST, unfortunately had to leave, but that's all out at OSTUSA.com.
2.5 hour drive. I don't blame them for leaving early.
Yeah, no, it's totally understandable. So yeah, this was episode 113. We
made it this far.
We did, of the IT and the D show.
Almost 3 more, and then we're at 100 more than what we thought we would make.
What you thought we would make.
Right.
Let's be clear.
I said 16 and we're done. We'll run out of stuff to talk about.
So yes, and I survived without getting too reminiscy and weepy.
That was
flashing.
not 2. That wasn't.
Oh, you have no idea how far that could have gone.
Oh my God.
No idea how far that could have gone. So hey, this is I am Dave the Geek. I am here with Bob the Sales Guy, Nuri the LOST for the night. And yeah, this was episode 113. We will catch you Thursday night out at the Hamlin Corner. Thanks for joining us. If you're still listening, have a great night. Bob, do your thing.
So drink your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here.
And I am wrapping this up with a certain specific quote because, well, reunion.
Beat it.
Dear Mr. Vernon, we accept the fact that we had to sacrifice a whole Saturday in detention for whatever it was we did wrong. But we think you're crazy to make us write an essay telling you who we think we are. And you see us as you want to see us. In the simplest terms, the most convenient definitions. But what we found out is that each one of us is a brain and an athlete
And a basket case. A princess.
and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
Long live Flash. You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. It's game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe, own the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy. Shut up, Mimsy. Shut up, Mimsy.
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right. Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up. Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city. I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.